Okay, so kalau ikutkan kita ada semua ni ya, currently tak cukup orang. Semua yang ada kat online ni, I blame this on you. Siapa yang online tu? Because currently this is the one that is basically the most complex one in term of our business process. Kalau tengok pun kali ni, one moment, I need the guide. If you look at this thing, yang ni ya, yang ni paling tebal. This is the basically the thickest one. I need to basically make two separate documents. Okay, tiga. Okay, material management or basically purchasing. We are involving two departments. Kalau ikutkan, boleh fokus ke sana tadi. Warehouse and finance. And currently, if you see here, there are currently 7 people from warehouse and also there are 2 people from finance. Now, there is something that I'm not sure, that is not clear here. Supposedly, this doesn't happen in one location. Both of this. If I remember, finance was supposed to be in Dallas. Warehouse is in all 3 locations. But inside the instruction there, it doesn't really mention whether is it Dallas, Miami or San Diego. Because currently, a few of the part where it defines the data, you define master data, it will happen in HQ, in Dallas. Yes, Dallas. For the transactional data, it's supposed to be happening in Miami or San Diego. But it's not being mentioned inside there. It's not being mentioned inside the lab exercise or case study. So, tengoklah. Basically, we are not clear. We can assume. But for next semester, I try to make clear on where does this happen. Okay, it's either this finance here. This one is a definite. Finance is in Dallas. Warehouse, I'm guessing it's being separated. 3. And I'm guessing it's not, it's being separated, but I'm guessing it's only focuses on maybe Miami. Dallas sikit saja. San Diego maybe tak ada. Kemungkinan. Okay, so now those are the 2 departments. We have warehouse, we have finance. Both are GBIs. But then we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. So we have here is basically vendor. Okay, vendor A, vendor B, and vendor C. So these are the people who is going to be involved with this business process. Okay, business process is being called material management. What does material management represents? Purchasing. So GBI, all of you, will be purchasing something from the vendor. But not all 3. Only 1. So that is how this business process is going to be done. Okay, now I'm going to pass this. Okay, now I'm going to be kau pegang sekejap, Gary. So basically yang ni yang startnya. This is going to be the hard part. Saya akan jauh daripada kamera, saya akan jauh daripada mic. Hopefully yang ni membantu. Hopefully. There is the reason why. Memang kita akan buat macam tu. Okay. Nanti dia akan sync, kira senang saya nak identify point of syncing this voice and the recording. Now, sebabkan semua tak buka PC, semua kena harapkan saya kan ni. So, last time I ask you to recheck whether saya betul ke tak. Tapi currently, hopefully, saya tak sesat. Okay, ataupun bagi awak ilmu salah. Okay, now, for this thing here, we will start with step 1 currently. Okay, now, similar practice. If you look at here, all of you have your task, your job, and behind it, try to have a look. There is which step that you are involved with. Bukan dekat kertas tu, tengok dekat belakang kertas merah tu. Okay, please check with me whether am I correct or not. Okay, now, how many of you have already finished material management case study? Angkat tak? Okay, tak apa. For those of you who are not, currently what is happening here, GBI is going to sell something new. Currently, it's not being sold by GBI before this. What is it they are selling? Okay, chain locks. Okay. But no data is being defined yet. So, what we will do here is basically, there's going to be a part where we're going to be define data, and then from there we're going to try to approach someone who could provide us with those chain locks. Okay. Now, usually the first step in terms of here, yes, we need chain locks. We need to buy chain locks. But then we need to know who are we approaching. So the first task is basically contract admin. Contract admin, cuba check untuk saya betul ke tak. Okay. Contract admin will basically create a vendor data, which means that I'm not sure whether this is correct or not, but currently I'm sure this is the process, but for me it doesn't make 100% sense. Okay, dia ada masalah sikit. Nanti awak akan tahu ngapa. Okay. Now, in terms of for here, the first step is basically you define data for your vendor. Okay. When you define data for your vendor, which means that you need to know your vendor's name, your vendor's address, contact number, etc. So basically, in terms of here, step 1 in GBI, contract admin, angkat sikit, tunjuk kat kamera. Okay. When I mention your position, angkat, tunjuk kat kamera. Okay. Now, contract admin will create a vendor data, vendor master data. So, in terms of here, the vendor is being called Midwest. Itu nama syarikat Midwest Supply. Now, the problem is here, when you do the exercise, they ask you to insert your name as the vendor. Awak sekarang ni kerja kat mana? Dekat GBI ke dekat Midwest? You all are currently working with GBI. So, to make things much more clearer, supposedly the name need to be someone else. Sebabkan kat sini akan create confusion. Okay. Now, even though here, everything that you do from step 1 until step 20, from page 1 until page 49, God bless you. Lengkap buat benda ni. Siapa yang tak siap lagi, you will know the suffering of doing this. Sangat susah, sangat banyak data input. Okay. So basically, even though you're doing it alone, currently you already notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 people are involved with this process. Minimum. Boleh pergi lebih. Tapi kalau ikutkan dalam ni macam itulah. Okay. So contract admin will create. Siapa yang join? Siapa nak join? Okay, now. So basically contract admin will basically create the information regarding to the vendor. Okay, that is step 1. Okay, boleh turun dah. Now, kita dah tahu, now we already know who can we approach to buy chain lock. Ada something wrong here. Tak sepatutnya berlaku gini. Now, the thing is, we don't have data related to the chain lock. Okay. Kalau ikutkan kat dalam ni, if you notice ada, this is okay, the data category. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3. Around 30 inputs, 30 data that you need to insert for your master data. Itu paling minima je tu. Those are the minimum supaya benda ni boleh jalan. Okay. Master data will be used everywhere, especially in material. Okay. For now, in term of here, yang ni lah, you need to buy this thing. Okay, you need to buy this thing. Okay, but the thing is, you are not there is no data whatsoever inside your SAP related to this thing. Macam mana nak kira how much you're going to sell, how much you're going to buy, where is it going to be kept? If it's almost out of stock, when should you start ordering new stock? When you start ordering new stock, when does the delivery date need to reach your storage, need to reach your plant, whether is it need to be sent to GBI, Miami, San Diego, depends. Banyak data yang berkaitan dengan ni. How is it going to be moved when it reaches there? How is it going to be packaged? How is it going to be banyak sangat apa lagi data dia. There is a lot of data that you input. Every single one, if you look at here, tala sini juga dua-dua. If you look at here, there is basically this one, this one, this one, this one no. Currently those are the data that you need to insert. There is a lot. Macam ni dia nak kena carry bila sampai, when this reaches your company, how do you move from the lorry to your storage is by, siapa sini perasan? Hand cart. Do you know what does a hand cart look like? Yang biasa orang guna untuk tolak air botol tu. Yang tu, lepas tu ada dua roda kat bawah tu. Okay, that is a hand cart. When it okay, that is moving it. The data is inside your master data. Other than that, how does this being packaged? On pallets. Okay, kayu pallets lah. Okay, pallets kecil that can fit your hand cart. There is a lot more, but currently I'm just discussing on that sahaja. Okay, siapa dekat sini ingat or did you notice how much GBI is going to sell one of this to their customer? Ada dekat page. Kalau siapa yang dekat online tu, siapa yang online boleh komen boleh guna mic saja ataupun audio. How much GBI is going to sell this? Susah sikit nak ingat lah. Saya pun nak kena check balik. Saya ingat saya ada perasan. Siapa ingat bagus. $69. Satu ni GBI will sell it for $69. Okay. But that is how much GBI is going to sell it. Cuba teka, how much is the price GBI going to buy that thing? Around there. It's going to be less, but how much? Agak-agak. Siapa kat sini niaga, dia ada formula dia. Common formula when you are in business. Biasanya markup berapa? Markup mesti darab 2. Usually, that is how business work. Boleh darab 3, depends. But currently in term of here, GBI is going to be buying it for the pricing of $33.50 for one. How much they going to sell it? 69. 69 tu, are they going to make profit? 33.5, 69 ke 62? 69 minus by 33.5. How much profit do they make? Kira kejap. Siapa dah congak lah. My congak is very bad. Then is it something? Is it 2510? Berapa? 2610. 69 minus 33.5. Okay, they're going to make a profit of 35.5. But you need to remember, ada packaging, ada delivery. Those things tak masuk dekat dalam charging. Okay, ini bukan Shopee. Shopee is like that. You put price and then you put the delivery. Tengok awal RM13, check out RM50. Okay, maybe that is a little bit outrageous. Lebih kurang gitulah. That is Shopee. Enterprise, no delivery charge. It's already inside the pricing. That is how enterprise work. Ya, jangan ingat GBI sama macam Shopee, lain. Okay, so in term of from here, yang create material master, please check for me. If I'm not mistaken, step 2 is by here. Warehouse supervisor will basically create material master. This material master data that the person create, this thing will be used warehouse, will be used in finance, will be used in sales, will be used in inventory. Every single part in the company will use this data again and again. Tahu tak mengapa awak kena letak banyak data? Sebab lepas ni, apa-apa business future business transaction, there is no more data that you need to insert. What you need to insert, how much chain lock you want to buy, how much chain lock you want to sell. Tu je. Only that. Buat kerja susah dulu, kerja senang, kemudian you bahasa Inggeris apa? Bahasa Melayu senang-senang dahulu, susah-susah kemudian. Apa? Okey. Susah-susah dahulu, senang-senang kemudian. Nampak sangat saya suka senang-senang and then susah kemudian. Okey. Aren't we all lah? Semua macam tu juga kan? Okey. So, what happens next is basically that data that you define is only for one plant. I'm not sure why, but that is how SAP works. You only define it for just Miami. Only Miami can use it. But then, it will be copied to another. Step 3. Tolong check sikit untuk saya siapa buat step 3. Warehouse employee. Just now, warehouse supervisor was step 2. Warehouse employee, step 3. What happens here is basically, they just copy the data so that it can be used in San Diego. Just that. Itu je. The process called apa? Extend material master data. Something like that. Step 3. What does extends mean? Just copy and paste on another location. See? CHLO master data also being accessed by San Diego. If you notice there, I written down there San Diego. Cuba tunjuk sikit yang belah sini. Yang bawah ni Miami. This is only being accessed Miami and then being extended to San Diego. Nothing much, copy paste je. Okay. After we define this, now we can start the process of purchasing. Awak dah bakal tahu dah. You already going to be you already know when we're going to buy it, macam mana dia akan dihantar, perlu dihantar ke mana, where is it going to be sent, how much basically it depends on your master data a lot. Okay, now step 4. Step 4, who is it? Step 4, this is just display. Step 4, right? Inventory supervisor. Okay, step 4. Inventory supervisor know that we are currently having new material, chain lock. Tapi dekat dalam ni, inventory supervisor only know there is nothing. No chain lock. Yes, data is there tapi tak ada chain lock lagi. So, from here, saya tak berapa pasti proses ni betul atau tak, tapi dia perlu start he needs to make sure there is chain lock inside GBI. Why do you need chain lock? You need to sell it. Okay. Chain lock is considered as trading goods. Is considered as trading good. You buy, you sell. You just repackage the thing. Okay. What he needs to do is basically something called purchase requisition. Okay, the word itself is basically what the hell does requisition means? Okay, itu term dia. That is the term used in SAP. So to make things simple, purchase requisition, which means that requisition is request. Simpler, right? So you request to purchase what? Chain locks. How many? Not sure yet. How many chain locks in the end? How many chain locks do we need to purchase at the end of the process? 200 chain locks. But currently in terms of here, we are not sure yet how much we're going to buy. But the thing is, we are not sure who is selling it. Now, here's the problem. Macam mana awal-awal kita tahu Midwest dah jual? How do we know Midwest already start selling chain locks? Situ masalahnya. That was the problem. Why does the first step start with define vendor? Yang ni sepatutnya berlaku selepas ni. Supposedly. To my understanding. But SAP presented it like this. Ikut je lah. Okay. Not my fault. I'm guessing this is true. Saya setakat seorang lecturer UMP yang tak bekerja dengan SAP. Okay, just to be clear. So we need to request for purchasing. After request for purchasing, there is going to be still by step 6. Awak No. Someone find me step 6. Technical. There. Okay, technical office assistant. The person will know that currently the company has initiated that we need to buy chain locks. So the technical office assistant will start the process of request for quotation. Okay, what does the request for quotation is? Tengok tunjuk sini. Request for quotation RFQ. Now, pass it to me, RFQ. Request for quotation for chain locks. Okay, this will be sent to the internet, mana-mana semua orang akan tahu. Which means that GBI is currently needs chain lock. Berapa banyak? Tak dicakap. What specification? Maybe ada. Okay, now okay, this one nanti kita akan tengoklah macam mana nak compare. Okay, RFQ. Semua orang akan tahu. So, now the 3 vendors already heard the news that GBI is looking for vendors to buy chain locks. So, apa yang akan buat? Dia akan hantar proposal. Proposal, how much? Okay, the main information here, dia akan ada how much they are willing to sell per unit. Okay, here Dallas, Spiger, Dallas and Midwest. 3 vendor. They call GBI, I'm not sure whom, but currently this information will be received at create, maintain. Akan dihantar ke sini. All of this information will be sent to the technical office assistant. Okay. Kalau ikutkan, this is basically what they will send. Okay, they will contact GBI stating, yes, we can provide you chain locks. Okay. Now, yang kat sini saya tak tahu macam mana. Saya tak pernah jadi vendor, saya tak pernah berlaku benda ni. You have to remember, I'm a lecturer. I'm not a businessman. Okay. How does the process happen? It's quite intricate. Saya dengar cerita dia ada macam proses spying, ada proses meminang. A very complex and subtle activities between vendors and the customer. Ada vendor hantar hadiah, hantar makanan, rasuah, those kind of things. Okay, 1 MDB kan, benda ni akan letak dekat internet. Mampus saya, nanti saya buang itu. Tak apa. Okay, so basically the vendors will send their documentation, their offer to technical office assistant. Technical office assistant will put everything inside one folder. Tu sebab awak ada folder. Masukkan semua dokumen tu ke dalam folder. Okay, from here, what happens next is basically they will start offering pricing. Okay, macam mana dia tahu pricing dia kena ke tak? I'm not sure. But currently in terms of here, if you remember, okay, bukan setakat pricing lah. They will also basically give samples. They will give samples, just to make sure this is from Midwest. This is from Dallas. This is from Spygear. Okay. Now, kalau tengok setakat ni, we are still at warehouse dia. Finance belum lagi. Finance is last. Okay. Now, in term of warehouse, kalau warehouse tak nampak, boleh bangun tengok-tengok. Tak semestinya duduk saja. Okay. Now, in term of from here, warehouse, what they need to do is basically they need to decide from whom they want to buy. Itu So, siapa kat sini ingat how much yang ni ditawarkan, how much does this cost? This is from Midwest, 32. This is from Dallas. Dallas berapa? Dallas is supposed to be 36 if I'm not mistaken. The maintain quotation, 3 months. Yes, here. This one is 36.5. This one is 33. 35. 32, 36.5, 35. So, from here, what happens next is basically you need to decide from whom you want to buy. Now, siapa buat step 9? Check sikit. So, we move on to the next step, that is inventory supervisor. We are at step 9. There is another 11 steps. Okay. Inventory supervisor will need to decide from whom they need to buy. Now, pass the documentation folder to inventory supervisor. Inventory supervisor will have a look at the 3 chain locks. Currently from here, kalau ikutkan, there is multiple ways of deciding from whom you going to buy. Currently in term of here, we're going to only buy based on pricing. Mana satu paling murah tadi? Ni, how much was this? 32. This one? 36.5. This one? 35. Don't judge by its looks. Saya sekadar susun gitu je. Okay. So basically, this one will be purchased by GBI. But currently in terms of here, not just this is for our case, GBI, we purchase based on pricing. But in real world, we look at different perspective. Okay. How much does your bicycle cost? Saya tak bawa, saya tak ingat. But currently, I'm guessing, if I remember correctly, 7 bicycles was going to be 21. Okay, not sure. Tak apa, tengok nanti. Kalau ada lah. Tak ada, tak apa. Tak ada, nasib lah. Okay. Now, in terms of here, your bicycle cost you around 21,000. Okay. For 7 bicycles. Kalau tengok, you need to make sure that your accessory is also boleh pair dengan bicycle awak. Okay. Yang ni nak jual ke untuk bicycle yang mahal? Yang ni? Yang ni maybe. From the 3 selections here, your bicycle apa? I remember. Siapa kat sini familiar with current trend of bicycle? Brand apa yang paling biasa orang beli? Yang mahal-mahal tu. Azizul Husni pakai brand apa? Azizul Husni ya? Azizul Awang ya? Azizul Awang ya? Saya tak ingat. Okay. I remember one brand, Tarmac. Okay. Nak kena make sure it also can pair with your main product. But currently in terms of here, so inventory supervisor decided on pricing of 32. 32 is basically this one. This two is going to be rejected. Open the folder. So, mana satu yang akan di-accept? Which one will be accepted? Midwest. So, Midwest kekal. The other documents letak sini. So, this one will not be accepted. This one is reject. So, we already, currently in terms of here, we are already done with step 9. We already know from whom we're going to buy. Now, how much we're going to buy? Step 10. We already know from whom we're going to buy. So we're going to be basically starting the process called purchase order. If you remember previously, there is a process called sales order. Okay, sales order is basically sell, you have documentation. Purchase order, buy, documentation. Siapa buat purchase order? Buyer. Okay. Not sure that is a position. Receiving clerk, warehouse supervisor, inventory supervisor, warehouse employee, technical office assistant, contract admin, account payable specialist, chief accountant. And then we have a position that is called buyer. Not sure whether this is correct or not. Tak apa, kita stick aja. We have a position called buyer. So buyer will decide, okay, we will buy from Midwest. How much you going to be producing, buying? 200. Show it to the camera. You're going to show a purchase order, 200 chain locks, at $33 per unit in 3 months. This one you keep, this one pass it to the vendor. Now, siapa vendor? Where do I put this? Sini Midwest tadi ya. Dah tak ada label lah. Sini Dallas, situ Spiger. So, they will know that they need to produce how many chain locks? 200. So, but then, ni dah RFQ. Purchase order. Now, it doesn't really mention why, but from the 200, we need to separate the delivery. Berapa? 100 and 100. Why? Doesn't really mention. But to my understanding, let's say for example, a first few months, our sales target, GBI sales target is 100 chain locks orang beli. After habis 100, and then we will receive another 100. So that is how it is going to work. So this one, from 200, we're going to break up the delivery. First 100 and then another second 100. So display purchase order tak payah. So we already know 200, 2 deliveries, 100, 100. So what happens here is basically, saya tak ingat saya ada bawa lori ke tak, tak apalah, saya mana kacau kotak tu dah. Okay, Midwest will send 100 chain locks. Siapa yang akan check bila lori tu sampai? Check sikit untuk saya. Step 12. Siapa buat step 12? Receiving clerk. When the lorry came, okay, tak ada lori, tak apa, pinjam yang ni. So basically, a delivery truck will send from Midwest, send to Miami. Currently in terms of here, this will need to be delivered to Miami. So receiving clerk will check whether there is 100 or not. Okay, biasalah quality inspection, betul ke sampai 100, semua elok ke. Okay, ataupun they not going to check, dah lah, kunci ada kat sini. Dia tak adalah nak check setiap satu ada kunci tak. Okay, locking mechanism elok ke tak. They don't usually do 100 sampai 100 check. No, they do random sampling biasanya. So sampai check cukup 100, and then they will produce a document called GR. GR represents good receipt. Before this, you heard in sales order, good issued. Good issued is what? It's yours. No longer ours. Good receipt is what? It's ours. No longer yours. Itu je sebenarnya, change of ownership. So when everything is okay, 100 sampai, produce good receipt, then what happens next? They going to come up with an invoice. Okay, sebabkan delivery dipecah, invoice also need to be broken. Dah sampai, buat apa lagi? Bayar kan? You need to pay. Dah sampai. Okay, but the thing is, before you pay, you provide the proof first. 100 sampai, you produce an invoice. Invoice dekat belah sini if I'm not mistaken. Step 14. Account payable specialist. Now, we are moving to finance. Warehouse dah almost siap dah. Semua dah selesai dah. We are moving to finance. Account ACC, account payable, PAY, payable specialist. Nama jawatannya. But currently what happens here? He will be proceed with the process of payment. So what he does is basically produce the first invoice. Okay, why does there are 2 invoices? Please have a look at the details. Yang ni tunjuk apa? 6,400 bagi 2. First 100. The second one, the second delivery. Another payment of 3,200. Okay, what happens here is basically step 12. Sorry, it's not step 12. Step 14. Keluar receipt. Okay, another 100 chain lock sampai. Siapa yang akan buat? Receiving clerk. Receiving clerk, another 100 sampai. Check, betul. Good receipt again. Selesai, betul. So what happens next? Account specialist produce another invoice. Invoice 2 for another 100. So afterwards, you can start paying. How much do you pay? Total 6,400. 600,400. So that is basically until step 18. Lagi 2 step je. What happens next? 2 step tu is just monitoring. Tengok betul ke tak duit tu dikeluarkan, dibayar. That is the task of chief accountant. No documentation whatsoever. Just checking on the general ledger. Saya rasa term dia general ledger kot, if I'm not mistaken. Just checking whether is it correct. 6,400 has been taken out of GBI account and being paid to Midwest. Okay. Currently in terms of here, what happens here is the, I'm guessing is the perfect scenario. Okay, now kita dah masuk isu hangat. Currently kata 6,400. Does really 6,400 really come out of GBI pocket? No. Yang ni tak ada kaitan dengan mana-mana negeri ya. Tak ada kaitan dengan mana-mana negara. This is anonymous. Tak ada kaitan dengan mana-mana syarikat. Just to be sure. Okay. Does this going to really cost $32? No. $32, kau buat agak-agak $32, some of the money goes to someone's pocket. This is going to cost apa? Less than 32. It's going to be like $10. Because there are multiple, we call it as toll gates that need to be gone through, it reaches to $32. Adalah masuk poket siapa-siapa. That is common these days. Tapi still it keeps on happening. Even with the change of government. I'm not stating any country. Banyaknya country lain tukar government. Bukan setakat satu tu. Okay. Dah tukar government pun sama juga. Nak kena masuk poket orang lain juga. That is what is happening. But currently in terms of here, what you are seeing is currently the, I'm guessing it's the perfect scenario or basically the correct scenario. Okay. So that is all in terms of what is currently happening in terms of material management. Saya rasa banyak lagi benda yang tak clear kat sini. Saya dah cuba buat se-clear yang boleh. Hopefully everyone can look at the video later if there is something that you are not clear with. Okay. Thank you very much.